And it has been a hot minute since I've done this. All right, let's see the damage. Hit, good. Good, nah. Still a fight stopper. Yeah, they're both fight stoppers. Let's do it one more time. I keep turning the wrong way too. Sadly out of practice. When did that happen? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's on the ear, which I'm calling that out. And obviously that was out from the yeah. Same as before, high, low. Those are good. Hey guys, welcome out to the range. The drill that I've been doing is Handgun Combative's box drill, which is 8 yards and 15 yards, 5 yards apart. So these are 5 yards apart, and the first position is 8 yards from the target. The last position is 15 yards, or I'm sorry, the second position is 15 yards from the target. It's 3 and 3. You start at the 15. When the buzzer sounds, you can either run in and draw. Well, let me rephrase that. You run in while drawing. You run in while drawing. My wife is a speech pathologist, so I have to be careful. You run in while drawing, and somewhere between yards 15 and 8, you should already have your blaster in your hand ready to go. You bring it up, you take your shot, and you take off. And you notice that when I run, I don't run like this. I'm sorry, I don't run like this. I don't run like this. I don't run like this. And I sure as hell don't run like that. I shoot and take off. Just sometimes it might be here, sometimes it'll be here. But I just run. My fingers registered high on the slide. This is a Glock 17, not a 19. My finger is registered high on the slide, which pushes the gun down into my grasp. And it also ensures that if I am startled, as humans, when we're startled, we don't just pull our fingers. We don't actually just, meaning our fingers don't just contract. They actually consolidate and contract, or consolidate while contracting. Because look at, well, the fingers are touching. To make the fist, the fingers are touching. Open, closed. So it isn't just like open and that, right? It's actually consolidated and closed. And so we could accidentally crack off a round if our trigger finger isn't registered high. Not everybody can do this, I get that, I have massive hands. The point is, what I do is I register high, drive the gun down into my grasp, so I've got as much control in that handgun as possible. Also, if I trip, I don't want to just accidentally spill that gun out. But I'm not particularly worried about muzzling. I'm going to muzzle people in a gunfight. It is impossible in a real world, I hate the term real world, but here we go. In a real world scenario, if I have to engage, and understand guys, this isn't meant to be 3 people. This may simply be 1 person who's moving on you. This may also be 3 people. All this drill is about, this is not a tactical drill, this is a skill drill, which is move, stop, stabilize, shoot, move. Everything that I'm showing you, I picked up from people who picked it up from people before them. Dave Spalding is who I picked this up from. He picked it up from Ken Heckathorn, I think, or Dave Harrington, I forget which. But the point is, institutional knowledge that is worth keeping is what you should be paying attention to. This is the type of thing that when I was exposed to it, I paid attention to it. But anyways, so you fire your first round from, technically that's position 6, that's position 1. So shoot, move, stop, stabilize, 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 shoot. Position 6. 6 bullets, 6 rounds out of a total of 17 plus 1. This is a beautiful drill because you can easily do this, well, technically you could actually do this drill 3 times over if you don't have any misses. 3 times over, and then actually practice a reload from empty when you're done. Awesome. But the point is, you're not expending a lot of ammunition like 5 and 15, 15 to the third, the different drills that I've picked up from Dave Spalding, where those are 5, 5, and 5 every time. So you're talking about 15, 30, 45. Bruh, you've almost expended an entire box in just minutes. This drill, if you work the basics, you can run this forever. Okay. I seldom, in fact, I don't actually, no, I have. I seldom make the part-time, most especially anymore. Dealing with, I'm 51 now, and I'm dealing with injuries that have caught up with me from law enforcement, and some of that stuff will sideline you, and I now have 2 friends who have popped their Achilles tendon, and bruh, I'm being careful, which is why I stretched out. I keep pointing at my Forerunner. I stretched out dramatically on my Forerunner by placing my hands on the tires and leaning way over to stretch the Achilles tendon to make sure that it's actually ready for use, and then also pull up and actually touch your buttock with the heel of your foot and hold and hold and hold and hold and hold and hold forever. And then when you release, slowly lower to the ground, which shows that you are in balance and in control. And guys, I just don't want any damage that sidelines me, because I now realize that I'm at an age where if you get sidelined, you get fat because your body is no longer efficient at burning because your metabolism changes. I know a lot of this is just like sideline information to some of the 20-something-year-old Gumbies who are like, you're so stupid, you're so fat, I hate you. Okay, so go watch somebody else. Go watch somebody else shoot really fast. This is realistic. This is as realistic as I can get it. First time I trained with Dave Spalding, I realized what I had been missing as a police officer. There was so much stuff that I'd never been taught as a cop that I didn't even know I didn't know. Dave Spalding taught this to me. And the nice thing is, he has a wealth of knowledge between my channel and his channel that's out there for you to consume. Guys, suck it in, take it all in, make it yours, pay it forward. On this video, I wanted to talk with you guys about something that popped up in the comment section the other day, and I'm always in the comment section, and whenever I'm in the comment section, I'm making notations all the time. And the notation on this one is a fairly long comment, and it goes like where is it? The day I was lit up in the shoot house because I got sucked in to the tactical task and missed the guy in the corner that I had previously put down verbally. All right, let's talk about that. Okay, it was many years ago. I went to Tactical Defense Institute, and I want to say it was handgun 4 and 5. Although I can't remember. It might have been, I think it was handgun 4 and 5. And we were in the Force on Force house, and what they had set up was I think it was you come home and there's somebody in your house, and that's it, that's all they tell you. This is the front door, they tell you, you come in and there's somebody in your house. Deal with it. So I came in the door, honey, I'm home, and I see movement on the right, and the guy starts verbally challenging me, and I can't remember, honestly, I can't remember if he had anything in his hands or not, but my mindset, well, I'm not going to give you legal advice. My mindset is this: if I come home and there's anybody other than my wife and my 2 kids in my house, they are instantly getting a gun in their face. And if they do anything other than exactly what I tell them to do, I will be shooting them. They're in your house. You don't have to have a discussion with them. They're in your house. And so I walked in the door, and there was a guy in the corner right, and he began getting verbal with me. And I immediately drew my gun, and I pointed it at him, and I started screaming at him, "Turn on the floor, do it now! Turn away from me, do it now!" I was a cop. Well, back then I wasn't a cop, but back then I still had the cop mentality. So I started screaming at this kid as loud as I could. And I think, if I remember correctly, I'd actually prepped the trigger. And so I was on this guy, and he complied. Little did I realize why. He complied, and I got him to the floor. I retracted the gun, and I believe that was before I understood this maneuver, which I learned from Dave Spalding. But I retracted the gun, I think to here, to the low ready. And just then, hang on a minute. Yeah, and then just then I noticed movement over here. And so I stepped back to keep the wall close enough to me that someone couldn't easily get behind me and I could still see this guy. And then this guy started to move, and since my forerunner's over there, I'm putting the gun up. And so this guy is probably 10 feet across the room. And he draws on me. So I immediately go, pop, 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 and I shift right. There's a wall segment right here where you are. There's a wall. And I immediately shift right, and I start using the wall as cover. And I start dropping out on this guy, and pop, 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 I get him a couple more times. And I start working the corners, working the corners, working the corners, pop, 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 and he keeps moving on me. He's limping. They're simulating that I've actually hit the guy. So he's limping. We're using Airsoft. And this is the painful part, both in pain and in ego. He is now taking cover somewhere over there on the other side of that wall, and I can't tell where he is because it's kind of dark in the room, in the space that we're in. And all of a sudden I feel, and I go, fuck, and I go, where'd that come from? Now, some of you are watching this are going, well, duh, that guy shot him. Hang on, woosah, baby, woosah, hang on. So I catch one, and I'm like, how the hell is he drawing a bead on me? And so I start looking up, I'm like, he's not up there. I would have heard him moving, because I've got these on. And so I retract the gun again, and I catch another round. And finally, the instructor, John Benner, who's over here, goes, and John Benner was wearing this camera on another pair of these that I had that I put on him. So he's able to get the bigger picture from back here. And finally, I'm like, okay, all right, fine. So he's like, all right, end of scenario, or whatever it is that they say. So holster up or clear the weapons or something. So guns are down, room is called cold, and everybody comes out. And I realized, yeah, I know. Those of you who are watching this video are like, duh. Yeah, but remember, you're there in the comfort of wherever you are. In this environment that I was in, I had a bunch of adrenaline. I didn't know what I was dealing with. Was it cold? I can't remember if it was. The point is, we were at a temperature extreme in that house. And this kid was lighting me up. He had popped me twice right here. I got news for you. You take a shot here, this way, not this way, but this way, you are in deep trouble. And I never forgot that lesson about situational awareness. He had me dead to rights. Why? Because I had forgotten. Guys, it's not that I'd gotten sucked in by this guy. No, I had completely forgotten that I had a human being over here. Because I was so task-oriented rather than situationally oriented. Now you see where I'm going with this. Situational awareness was my problem that day. I allowed the situation to suck me in and take my awareness away from me. And I found myself catching 2 rounds that clearly would have either ended my life or severely, well, they would have ended my fight. My combat effectiveness would have gone in the trash can. I would have had a blood pressure loss that was so intense that I would have passed out, and these guys could have finished me off or skedaddled out the window. And if someone didn't come to my aid, I could have exsanguinated on the floor. either way, my fight was severely compromised because I forgot about this guy right here. And I have never forgotten that, ever. And since then, if I'm in a parking lot and people are moving around on me, and every once in a while you go somewhere, like 2 days ago, I had to, no, I'm sorry, yesterday morning, I had to, got up early and realized we were out of milk. And I had to jump in the vehicle and drive a couple miles down the road to a little gas station. It was early in the morning, and I mean like really early in the morning, to get a gallon of milk. Gosh, gallons of milk at little gas stations early in the morning are $7. And so anyways, drove back home, and I remember when I got there, I scanned all the way around the vehicle before I opened the door to make sure that no one was in the shadows. Then I beelined into the lighted store, very well lit store, and then because I'm tall enough, I visualized over every single one of the rows, and then I looked for the manager. He was seated in his chair. I looked for the manager, had him, cleared the store, went to the cooler, grabbed my milk, came back an opposite direction from the way that I'd gone to the cooler to get my milk, went up to the countertop, put it on the countertop, manager came over, I paid for it with my watch, boop, and walked out the door and scanned hard left, hard right. A concrete crew was coming in just then. Good morning, gents. Got in my vehicle, drove home. I no longer allow myself to be when walking through parking lots. And every once in a while, I might accidentally get sucked in on that, and my wife is like, because she knows. She has already picked up enough of this stuff that I've shared with her that she knows it is not in my nature to be staring at a device when walking through parking lots. So, no real major epiphanies in this vehicle. It's just as things come up in the comment section, I realize there are things that I need to share because, guys, that last estimate, I think it was like 30 or 40 million something new gun owners in America in the last 3 years. Good Lord Almighty. 30 to 40 million new, not period, but in addition to gun owners in America. And so many of you don't know what you don't even know, and you don't even know where to go get the knowledge, which is what this channel is about. So, the hard-learned lessons that I've picked up over 83 classes since, when did I start training? I think my first professional, I'm not talking about my stuff in law enforcement, with the exception of hostage negotiator school through the FBI, basic and advanced, crisis and hostage negotiations through the while in law enforcement, pretty much everything else was garbage training. When I got into professional training in 2009, man, I was floored at what I didn't know. And I was a cop then. I was still a cop. And I remember going, I didn't even know a fraction of what was just taught to me over these 3 days. My God, I've been carrying firearms professionally for a living, and I have no clue what I'm doing. Since then, I've attended 83 classes and counting, because I'm going to another one in January with my friends Shane and Callie Kerwin. And a lot of what I do, guys, is tune-up. It's just tune-up. It's just keeping the edge on skills. It's not, in most cases, I'm seldom ever learning something new, because I've pretty much heard everything at this point. Okay, let me rephrase that, because someone's going to in the comment section, hot pockets. No, what I mean is I've pretty much heard the basics of everything. Because, guys, the majority of what's out there is basics. It's just basics being applied efficiently. And so I've pretty much seen and heard all of it. And I go to training and consistently continue to go to training because I want to make sure that I keep the edge. Guys, I fired up the cameras and ran this cold. I did not practice drill a single time. I'm sorry, I did not practice this drill a single time. And I threw one round. Now, I'll leave you with this. Every one of the hits on those heads are fight stoppers. Even the ear shot, because the ear shot would have been linearly across the edge. You take a shot that grazes right past the auricle and nails this area and potentially flails some of this stuff off. Guys, this is very painful. This is a very, very painful area to get hit. If you get hit by a high velocity round, well, let's face it, all rounds, even subsonics, are high velocity. If you get hit by a round, I shoot a 115 grain full metal jacket in my defense as my defensive load. If you get clipped by one of those rounds, anywhere from here up, it is going to so severely alter your ability to even stay upright that your fight is now over. I'm not talking about death. I'm just talking about the fact that your fight is now over. And that gives me the opportunity to either end you or at least skedaddle and create some distance from you. But your fight is over with. And that's why I like high neck and head hits, because man, they're really good at stopping bad guys, and they bypass body armor. Body armor becomes irrelevant at that point. So anyways, that's what I've got for you guys today. I really appreciate the fact that you're even watching this video. I appreciate your support of Tier 1 Citizen at tier1citizen.com. Guys, everything that I do on this channel is out of pocket. This is not a monetized channel. And after years and years and years of going up and then being throttled back by the algorithm, going up and being throttled back, I finally actually broke 60,000 subscribers. And several people have said in the comment section, including most recently my son, who is very good at algorithms, and just, he is so good at seeing patterns. And he says, I don't understand how you have that many views and so few subscribers. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you just said it. He goes, are they throttling you back? Are they blacklisting you? Bingo on both counts. Guys, truth is troublesome to the powers that be, which is why, by the way, I'm on Rumble, and I'm also on X. On Rumble, I am Tier 1 Citizen Actual, and on X, I actually managed to get Tier 1 Citizen. There's not a lot of content there, guys. There's so much work to actually load up content that I seldom ever have time to do anything other than like make slings for you guys, fulfill orders of the different things that are being ordered, and then get out here and get some work done. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for supporting me at tier1citizen.com. And as always, God bless you all. Get those guns out in practice. Have a good one.